unknowns, it reads, on fame's eternal campground, the tents of the unknown are spread, and glory guards with solemn rounds the bivouac of the dead. Marianne Bill's dad's up them steps to the left, second stone up. Now he wasn't a soldier, he was a sheriff. Civil servants were allowed to be buried there. There's a couple of Round Island lighthouse keepers. And the soldiers also were allowed to be buried with their families. There's 2 or 3 complete families out there. You can't fly the American flag at half-staff just because you want to. It does take congressional approval, and they've only given that permission in a few other instances, such as Arlington and Gettysburg, Punchbowl in Hawaii, and over in Normandy, France. Cemetery is also what they call a soldier's lot. Only 22 of them in the country has to do with the unknowns. All the maintenance funds for that cemetery are provided by the U.S. Veterans Administration. There is another fort cemetery. Unfortunately, they have no idea where. Long ago overgrown. Researchers came to the fort at one time. Records indicated that 40 soldiers had died. There's only 12 graves up there. Records did not indicate where that old cemetery was. Quite a long period between when the state took over and the feds gave up on it. Nice arch here. It's supposed to be the rear entrance to the cemetery. Doesn't look much like an entrance. You got grass growing under the gate, and you got a road going around it. Doesn't even go through it. Never has. You see the old hearse at Surrey Hills? Yeah, they still use that today. They'll roll it right out of there for a funeral. Well, the stonemason measured that hearse. He come down here, he built the arch. He had a funeral. They could not get through it. Yeah, he forgot to make the allowances for the driver who sits on top of the hearse. Can't get through it with the driver on board. It's never had a hearse underneath it. Y'all know what we'd end up with if we tried that today. Headless hearseman. Headless hearseman. Is this working back there? Just checking. It's going to be a long hour. All right, a story about that fort over in Mackinac City. That's the one they call Fort Michilimackinac. Story about that in the cave on your left called Skull Cave. Now, it was in 1763 during the Pontiac Native uprisings. Natives attacked that fort over there. They killed everyone inside of it except an Englishman named Alexander Henry. Took him captive. They had a ceremony coming up. Alexander could hear him talking about what a fine English broth he was going to make. Now, he knew they were serious because those dead soldiers were carved up, boiled, and eaten. So he knew he was in big trouble. But he also had a friend by the name of Chief Wadham. Chief Wadham did not participate in the attack, wasn't even around at the time. In fact, him and Alexander were blood brothers. Well, they got word to the chief that Alexander was in deep trouble. The chief gathered up every possession he owned. He made it back to that fort in time to offer that. In exchange for Alexander's life, natives holding that fort accepted his offering. They set Alexander free. I'll get to the cave here in a moment. That used to be about 100 foot long at the time of the story. Just a few days after releasing Alexander, those natives are getting real nervous about English retaliation for what they had done, so they chose to leave the fort. A band of about 350 of them came over here to the island to let things simmer down. Alexander and the chief decided to come over with them. Now, they weren't over here very long. They captured a shipment of goods passing by the island. In that shipment was a large quantity of whiskey. Now, the chief was really worried. He knew his friends would get to drinking. Probably want to kill Alexander without a doubt. So late in the evening, before that party got out of hand, he hid Alexander in the cave back there. Alexander had a rough night of it. He was tossing and turning. He figured he was sleeping on a pile of sticks and stones, but as that morning sunlight crept into the cave, he realized he was on human skulls and bones. That was a native burial site. Chief Wadham was well aware of it. He was also aware that site was sacred. It was forbidden for a native to enter the cave. It was under the penalty of death. So he knew his friend would be fined, and he was. Now, Alexander was an English merchant. He was in a country full of natives that absolutely despised the English. What he was doing here, nobody knows. But that wasn't his first scrape, wouldn't be his last. He put them all in a book. He actually wrote a book, a little $7 book you'll find in town today. It's called The Attack at Michilimackinac. Among his other adventures, it contains the only eyewitness account in existence of the attack of that fort. Well, up them steps back there, actually out in front of us, is Fort Holmes, highest point on the island. That's 363 feet above the water, too high up for us to see anything. Built by the British, the same British that built our big fort here during the Revolutionary War. Now, they lost that war, of course. They had to get out. Took them 13 years to vacate our fort. Didn't take them long to get back, though. They came back at the very beginning of the War of 1812. They landed on the north side of the island. They marched their troops in a single-piece artillery for about 2 miles till they reached the point above us here. That's where the highest point is. And from there, they could look right down completely unaware that the British had slipped in during the night. Now, they had no reason to be suspicious. Even though the War of 1812 had been declared about a week earlier, they failed to notify the fort. They were clueless. They had concerns about natives on the island. They were disappearing. They didn't know where they were going. Well, the British fired a single warning shot down to the fort. The Americans looked up, found the natives. They slipped off. They joined forces with the British. Now, up on that ridge, we had over 600 British soldiers and Native Americans waiting to attack the fort. Down there, 57 Americans. British knew exactly what they're doing by coming in the back way. After all, they built the fort. They built that fort to withstand attacks from the water. Every single piece of artillery in that fort is permanently mounted facing the lake. Not a single gun pointed this way. Unable to return fire, outgunned, outnumbered, they had no choice. They surrendered that fort without so much as firing a shot and left the island. That's when the British went up above us. They established that fort up there, more of a lookout than a fort, just a mound of dirt in an oval shape. They called it Fort George.